Want to welcome to the show Carrie Herbertson, NRA ILA's Nevada State Liaison. Carrie, good evening.
Hi, Cam. How are you?
I am wonderful. Thank you for coming on the show tonight.
Oh, you're welcome. It's my pleasure.
All right, so we've got so much stuff to talk about. First, let's talk about the bill that is now on the desk of Governor Brian Sandoval.
Yes, that is Assembly Bill 321 by the Assembly Speaker John Oseguera, which is the it's Castle Doctrine light. I'll be honest, it's not a full Castle Doctrine bill, but it is a step in the right direction, and we're really happy to have it on the governor's desk, and we have every reason to believe he's going to sign it.
Well, that's fantastic. I mean, we were talking about this on the show last night. It passed out of the Assembly by a vote of 39-3. It passed out of the state Senate without a single dissenting vote, right?
That's correct. That's correct.
So,
there was just one minor amendment that was added to it, and like I said, this was a bill that was it's a version of another bill that had been introduced at the beginning of the session, which was what I would consider a full Castle Doctrine bill that basically said you have the right to protect yourself wherever you have a legal right to be. This was then scaled back into the Speaker's bill, and what it does is memorialize what is currently case law and jury instructions that you have no duty to retreat in your home. So, we're happy with it. It's a step in the right direction. As I said, we tried to go after this 2 years ago in the 2009 session, and it didn't even get a hearing. So we're really thrilled that it's gone as far as it has.
Absolutely. All right. Now, the other thing that you've got to be thrilled about in Nevada is that the Nevada State Law Enforcement Officers Association has announced its support for the Campus Protection Act, Senate Bill 231.
That's correct. That's correct. That was a real gift. Surprisingly enough, it started kind of between a conversation between some law enforcement officials and at an airport. And next thing you know, Ron Cuzzy, who was the president of the association, decided that he thought that it was incumbent upon him and his organization to step forward and support the bill. He used to be a law enforcement officer on the UNLV campus, and so he fully understands that that permit holders do not become less law-abiding when they cross that arbitrary line. And he has just a real heart for Amanda Collins and women like her, and the ability for college students to protect themselves. So he ran it by his association, and as you well know from reading the alert, it's the association encompasses about 22 different state and local law enforcement agencies throughout the state of Nevada. So this, to us, it's a really big thing, especially considering the fact that this Nevada state sheriffs and chiefs took an opposed position. So this is this is a really brave group of people that are stepping forward and saying, wait a minute, we understand that these are good permit holders.
It is, and when you look at this, the Nevada State Law Enforcement Association has officers from the police departments for the University of Nevada, Las Vegas, University of Nevada, Reno, Truckee Meadows Community College. I mean, they're the law enforcement officers, I think it's fair to say, at the biggest universities in Nevada are coming out in support of the Campus Protection Act.
Yes, and even more importantly, I would say that these are the police officers. These are the guys on the ground, the men and women on the ground that know that they can't be everywhere at once.
Right.
That citizens have the ability, but they should be able to have the ability to protect themselves, whether they're on a campus or not, over 21. They're law-abiding individuals. So these are the guys that these are the, I would say, not necessarily the first responders, because those are the gun owners for the most part, but these are the guys that are the first to arrive. It's not the issuing authority. It's not the sheriff, who comes out of his office and shows up. These are the first responders, and so, or second responders as well. So this means a tremendous amount, and so sending out the alert and also letting our members know that there are four sheriffs that stepped forward to support the bill.
Oh yeah.
Even in the face of their own association that said, we're doing this because we trust our permit holders, we trust our constituents. So I believe it was a real step out on principle, and this is an opportunity for our members to thank them and say, this is what we elect you to do. So
yeah. Well, so what's the next step right now, Carrie, on the Senate Bill 231, the Campus Protection Act?
Well, right now there was a fiscal note that was attached by the Nevada System of Higher Education. They seem to think that as gun owners, if they if they let permit holders into residence halls and dorms or into venues where there are more than 1,000 people or has the capacity to seat more than 1,000 people, that they need to have extra security and extra staff and extra camera equipment there to keep an eye on the permit holders to make sure that nobody breaks the law. Of course, there isn't any of that already around the campus, so I'm assuming that this is just kind of their way of trying to get the bill, outmaneuver the bill, so to speak, and get the bill into a fiscal committee where it's currently stalled. So we're hoping that the fiscal note is going to be removed. Senator Lee is going to be offering an amendment to remove anything that could create a fiscal note that had been attached prior. And then because it's been exempt, we really have, I'd say, a little less than 2 weeks to get it out of, to get it onto the Senate floor, over to the Assembly, and on its way to the governor. So we have a little bit of time because it's exempt from all the deadlines. But as of right now, we need to get it at Senate Finance Committee. And, you know, I've never seen anybody work a bill like Senator John Lee. He has been relentless in his pursuit of this bill. And I think it's because that, you know, he's obviously philosophically sound. But Amanda's story really has resonated with him, and he is just doing everything he can to make sure that this ball keeps rolling.
What can we do, Carrie? Not just, and I'll ask, what can gun owners in Nevada do? But is there anything that gun owners outside of the state can do to help?
Well, I would say that definitely. I think continue to communicate with the state senators and let them know that this is a bill that needs to be on its way. That yes, they may not be constituents, but be that as it may, that this is this goes beyond the boundaries of Nevada. This bill speaks to women and men that go to school every day and want to feel safe, irrespective of where they go to school. That this is kind of beyond the borders of just Nevada. Mm-hmm. And so I'd say just continue to communicate with the Nevada lawmakers and even their own lawmakers and consider bringing this forward next year. And I believe that the more states bring this forward and the better success we have, that the greater chance we have of winning in states like Nevada. Amanda's a pretty brave individual, and I think that she has created a lot of conversations that had not occurred. And so I would say just, continue to call Nevada, call the senators, call the assembly members, and say this is a train that's coming your way. Either get on board or get out of the way.
Well, yeah, and I think you're right. I think it is the train moving down the tracks. I don't know if you heard, but earlier this evening, it sounds like some parliamentary procedures were used in Texas to strip the campus protection language out of the Senate bill that had been attached to. So unfortunately, it looks like, in Texas, we're going to have to wait another 2 years. But, Carrie, when the only way they win is through these, political maneuvers, rather than, look, in Texas, majority of the Senate, majority of the House supports campus carry.
Yep.
If we get our fair up and down vote, we win.
Exactly. Well, and this has happened in Nevada. I can tell you that there were some assembly members that didn't want this bill over on their side, and so they were doing everything they can, parliamentary wise, to be able to get it stuck in a Senate committee so they don't have to vote on it. Well, to me, if you're not out there advocating and calling the speaker and calling the Senate Majority Leader and saying, get this bill moving, I want to vote on it, then that, to me, that's as good as a no vote on the bill. So I think it's really important that we hold these legislators accountable. And, these legislators, they want the power and they want the position, but yet they don't want to get knocked off the fence.
Yeah.
And so I think it's up to the gun owning community to say, you know what? We're going to shine a light on what you guys are doing, and if you're not taking a leadership advocacy position in support of this, then you're going to pay at the polls.
Carrie, I've got no problem with that. As the father of, one child who has already gone through college, another who is going through college right now, and I've got 3 others that I suppose at some point may decide that they want to go to college. I want to know. That look, not only when my kids become old enough to become right to carry holders, but what about me when I want to go visit my family on campus?
Exactly.
We think about the students, we think about women like Amanda Collins, But there are college professors, there are employees, there are, the parent adult visitors who also have a right to protect themselves as well. And those people don't become irresponsible the moment they set foot on a college campus.
Well, you're right, and I think from a bigger picture as a gun owner myself, that it's part of the bigger picture, and that is that we're law-abiding. We're not going to we're not going to be criminals. We've taken the steps to do what's necessary to become trained, to pay the fees, to get the blessing, and so on and so forth. We've literally been the ones jumping through the hoops. We are not going to do anything to risk that. And I don't care whether you're in a restaurant, at the state capitol, in a public building, on a campus. I don't care where you are. To be honest with you, either you're trusted or you're not.
Yeah.
That's what it comes down to. So again, I keep talking about a bigger scale, but it really is. And so I think that's the message we need to convey to gun owners is you may not be a student, you may not have a child that's a student, you may not have any reason to step on a campus.
Mm-hmm.
But having said that, it is the very fact that they can restrict you, and in a state that's a shall issue state like Nevada, like Texas, like all these other states where these bills have been brought forward, all of a sudden we're being held to a discretionary standard again when it comes to where we're told where we can and can't carry. So what's the purpose of having a shall issue state when they really narrowly define where you can carry and where you can't? So either they trust you or you don't, or they don't.
Amen. Carrie, thank you so much for coming on the program tonight. It is always great talking to you.
Good talking to you, too.
All right. Carrie Herbertson, NRA ILA's Nevada State Liaison, joining us here on Cam and Company.